Disclaimer: this show is not for the faint of heart or the easily offended. The views expressed here are that of the show hosts only, and not their wives, girlfriends, husbands, boyfriends, polygamous partners, employers, music artists, businesses, or anyone other than the Cognitive Dissolutions podcasters. The explicit tag is there for a good reason. Please proceed with caution.
Every one of us will have to decide whether or not we want to keep this great republic or whether we're willing to sacrifice it and surrender it to tyranny.
We're going to randomly find crazy stories and see what kind of crazy things we can come up with based on that. Some of us may or may not be under the influence of intoxicants, so that may add or detract from the value of this podcast. So we'll see as we commence going forward. I think there was just a hint there of who that might be. We're going to randomly find crazy stories and see what kind of crazy things we can come up with based on that. Some of us may or may not be under the influence of intoxicants, so that may add or detract from the value of this podcast. So we'll see as we commence going forward. I think there was just a hint there of who that might be. You can probably take care of it with the minor adjustment tool.
I'm not at all concerned.
Some people call that a hammer.
Had to deal with that before, not with a hammer.
To me,
Yeah,
I guess
it doesn't go, I have a hypothesis, therefore I was anal probed on Tuesday.
Although those things aren't necessarily mutually exclusive.
This is true. That's very true.
Actually,
If anybody's seen the Deadpool movie, we know that that's completely different. Anyway.
I've forgotten about that. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, you must see.
No spoilers.
Oh, yeah. Awkward. Just saying.
Well, you know.
Yeah. Apparently, back in the 90s, her husband actually saw a UFO. I don't know anything about the event. I've never actually read a report, but I saw some about it on History Channel a couple of years back. Unfortunately,
I thought we decided that was a cigar.
No, that was well, yeah. I mean, you know.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman. You need to define what is for me.
That was incredibly awkward.
Well, don't judge me. I'm high.
And I don't count Al's laughter today. Like, he's going to laugh at just about anything.
That's
or not. Some of the symptoms of hypothermia, once it really kicks in, is hallucinating, which, you know, when you have groups of people hallucinating, they tend to gravitate around whomever is sort of the alpha of the hallucination. And there's also some reason that people tend to take their clothes off while they're in late stages of hypothermia. I can't remember exactly what that is, but...
So what you're telling me is I have hypothermia right now?
Are you naked?
No.
Okay, then shut the fuck up.
Not yet.
Shut the fuck up, Khalid.
And we are really reaching tonight, aren't we?
Jesus.
I'm thinking about changing my primary care doctor to Dr. Kevorkian.
It won't matter.
So we might have to have an intervention on that stuff, by the way.
I do need to make an announcement that I did send Joel a tiny URL, and he did use it.
I did.
What?
I was so scared. Like, I mean, seriously, I have some small amount. I don't mean to belittle anybody that's actually having this, so I may regret saying this, but there was a small amount of PTSD involved with the tiny URL concept.
It's totally okay.
A good step.
Men, there are a lot of men in the world who have tiny URLs. You're okay.
So here's how this played out. I'm at Izzy's with my wife and daughter. My son didn't want to go. That's not really relevant. And I get a text, a Facebook message, I think. Was it a Facebook message or a text?
Facebook, I think.
From Joel. And he said, God, what did he say? Something like, Al, can you make me a mini URL?
Okay, Alakazam, you're a mini URL.
Yeah, he says, here it is. Al, can you make a mini URL out of this? I'll try to be brave and actually check it. I need a custom cable built, and this is the only example of the male end of it I can find. So I'm sitting there staring at this going, he's given me the perfect opportunity to send him a male member in a tiny URL.
I know. I don't know how you resisted.
I'm sitting there, and I've already copied and pasted, after a Google search, some gay porn. I was like, oh, man, I wish I could right now, but I'll be nice. And I sent it to him. So I sent him the proper thing, but I was so tempted. Right when I had read it, I had already Googled it. I'd already copied and pasted, and I was ready to fucking link it. I didn't. I restrained myself, but yeah.
My experience, the only people that use tiny URL are the people who are trying to trick you, fool you, otherwise get you to do something you wouldn't otherwise do.
Well, I know, but the funny thing is what I was doing is I was putting together an email to Voodoo Lab to ask them if they have any suggestions on where I can get this cable made, because I can't fucking find anybody. And I was going to post one example of one side of the cable, but it was a really long URL from Amazon. And I figured if I did that, they wouldn't read the bottom of my email. So it's like, how do I shorten this up? Oh, yeah, Al. So I took a risk and paid off. Sounds like it was by no means a sure thing.
No, because I was sitting there as I'm reading this. My wife even said, she was sitting across from me. She said after I sent it, she goes, "What was that about?" And I said, "Well, this is what Joel wanted me to do, and this is what I'd done in the past, and I was tempted to do it again." She goes, "That explains the look on your face, because you went from a very serious look to this look of sheer fucking joy."
And you should have a look of pure joy. You did the right thing. Good boy. I know that's not what the joy was about, but anyway.
No, it was. So
I was scared. I was scared.
But we got him sorted out. So I got Joel to actually look at a tiny URL without any fear.
No, there was plenty of fear.
Well,
I just powered through that shit.
That's
because you're not a Christian. See, if you were a Christian, you would know the answer to that, and the answer is sin. But go ahead.
Oh, fuck off. Sorry. I just really felt like sinning right there.
I am saving the shit out of that.
I really wish I would have just said, fuck off, John. That would be great. See, I didn't think of it, so I didn't say it. It wasn't an actual choice.
You can say it now, and he can edit it in.
That's true.
Don't think you can